It was supposed to automatically move us over. It did not.
Oh.
How dare it?
It said, no, you're going to work.
Today.
You know, right?
Well, it's a new employee.
Yeah, yeah. So, hey, everybody. How y'all doing? So, I see no reason why it would not be.
What is I said enchilada
that.
Sauce?
It's like a red chili and tomato sauce that goes on top of enchiladas.
Yeah, it's like a Spanish
So it's basically like a marinara, like in the same sort of family.
Kind of.
Just with peppers.
It's closer to hot sauce than it is to marinara.
Okay. Then I feel like tortellini with the cheese and stuff. Sure. If it is cheese tortellini on the inside, I feel like that's usually what tortellini is, isn't it? I'm not a pasta expert. Matt, this is more your department than mine.
And CB, sometimes you do things with food
that
stress me out and fill me with, I guess the most apt term would be rage. This is not one of those times. That sounds so good, and I need you to try this.
Yeah, please let us
some
know.
like the like nacho cheese blend, not nacho cheese, but like the cheese blend that you would get on like tacos or not used to make homemade nachos, and melt that onto the tortellini with the enchilada sauce.
You mean like the shredded bits of cheese?
Yeah, shredded cheese.
I thought you meant like a powder that Americans
No,
have.
No, just like it's like 2 or 3 different kinds of cheeses. I just can't think of which ones they are.
I think they are called like nacho blend.
No, I think that's the cream in the vodka sauce souring.
Vodka sauce has cream? Usually, when I've seen it, it's been like a tomato sauce just with vodka in it. Like it.
Yeah, it's a lot of times you'll finish a vodka sauce with just like a touch of cream or milk.
Oh,
and that's
what
gives it that slightly lighter color. Yeah. But yeah, no, it is not supposed to be sour.
I should add cream to it though.
Yeah, literally just at the end, like literally like a tablespoon or 2 of cream, like nothing crazy, but just.
Vodka sauce is not traditionally supposed to be sour. It is a creamy tomato sauce with a pink hue, combining the robust tomato flavor of marinara with the smooth, velvety texture of a cream sauce.
Because she doesn't add cream, so it's not pink; it's fully just red. Because I didn't know that was a thing you were supposed to do. But like, yeah, even then, you can't really taste the vodka.
But it is apparently sour. A thing that does happen sometimes enough that there are articles.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a sign that it's gone off. Is the
for
thing.
Sure. Yeah, sour's not the right flavor there.
That's actually
yeah.
But the enchilada tortellini does sound incredible.
Yeah, the first sprint is definitely going to be in I need to eat sprint because I kept for the first part of my day. What do you mean it's not Whip Wednesday? What has happened? What did I do?
I didn't see anything that said it was Wednesday.
Ah.
I don't know.
I'm
very concerned because Fox sent me it's not Whip Wednesday, and I'm like, where did I mess up? What did I do?
He's just reminding you.
Okay. Also, hello. Makes sense. It is hella old. Yeah, might not.
Yeah, that's the wrong flavor.
I spent part of this day. I actually woke up. I went to bed early. Woke up early, and got the kids to. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, I'll fix that later. But yeah, and then I wasn't feeling good, so I was like, okay, I'll take a small nap, which is fine because normally, like the way my sleep schedule works during the school year, a lot of the time is I get the first half of my sleep before I put the kids on the bus, and then the second half after. And then I woke up about 2, and I'm like, hey, I'm good. I'll just make all of the medical related phone calls soon, and then 2.5 hours later, I'm like, oh shit, it's 4:30. Everywhere is going to close. It did not help that I was on hold for so long. But it's okay. I made half of them. So I can make the other half tomorrow. How did everybody else do? What did everyone else do this weekend? I had a very good weekend because I one of our children got some grade-related awards on Friday, and we
Nice.
did their first
Aw.
seafood boil, which all of the children are now obsessed with.
I thought you said
Oh,
e-food.
Yeah,
Like,
me too at
what
first,
is
it
this?
cut off.
Matt, check your DMs, apparently.
Yeah. She has the cheese I was talking about for the enchilada tortellini. But,
Oh, okay.
but no can opener, so that's going to be an adventure.
Hi. Yes, what do you want?
Do you have a bottle opener?
Shower first.
Yeah,
It's Monday, so
Because you
your
can
hair
use a
won't
bottle
nice.
opener and it'll like make it condense into the can, and it'll work for pouring liquids out, which will work with the enchilada sauce.
Yeah.
Although if you do that, do two, because then one
Yes,
for the air
yeah,
comes
for the
out,
air.
and then,
Yeah.
yeah, one on the top, one on the bottom, sort of
Yep.
thing. I mean,
No,
like
the
not
both
top
on the
and bottom
top,
of the
just on
can,
opposite
like
sides.
on one side of the can. And
Yeah.
one side of the can.
In my brain, a moment, I was like, I mean, if you're holding it over.
Tina's actually describing how to shotgun a can of enchilada sauce.
Describing it the way my dad describes things. Like it's that like European like close the light sort of thing, like the top and bottom of the circle.
Let's see.
Man.
My husband just got home after 14 days in the hospital. I've got a pre-roll and my entire fam home, and will not be sprinting, only rambling and chilling. Hey, that's fine.
Totally
I'm glad to
fair.
hear that he's home.
Every time I hear
Yeah.
pre-roll, I think it's a fruit roll-up.
Oh, I thought weed.
I think you're correct. I'm just sitting here like, ooh, yeah, you got a fruit roll-up. You're set.
I had no idea what it was, so I too was thinking some sort of food.
Oh no, yeah, that's. I would assume
my guess
it's
is
a
weed, but
joint.
I'm not weed enough to know.
Yeah.
No, I think
Not
you're right.
weed enough.
I have many a friend who has imbibed upon the devil's lettuce. I, however, am allergic to.
Oh.
So.
It makes
Which
me
is
seasick.
really fun when I go to a convention and one of my coworkers is a smoker.
The only time I've ever gotten high, it literally just feels like I'm on the ocean.
Yeah, at random
So bad.
times, I will suddenly just feel really, like, I'll start getting a headache and I'll feel really sick, and I'll just assume it's regular migraine things. And then later, one of my other coworkers will be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, because you're allergic to weed." And I'm like, "Yeah, so?" And they're like, "Oh, you didn't smell so-and-so?" And I'm like, "Let me tell you. I don't have to know I'm smelling it for it to make me feel sick, so things are explained now." Yes, you'll see. Mary Jane.
CB, can I share this picture?
Legal for 21 here. Check DMs part 2. Enjoy.
This is insane.
Yeah, you can share the picture. We have a guest screen share scene.
Oh my god!
Not sure how long I will be on, but we'll enjoy the time.
Yeah. So, as CB said, no can opener. And so this was. Is this going to work at all?
Turn your brightness down and it'll work.
Good idea.
Well, I'm glad to hear that he is recovered.
Oh, that was maybe a little too dim, but we can kind of see it. You need in the middle of that, Matt.
That's music.
Oh,
there we go.
And now you're.
That's a chef's knife jammed into the top of the can of enchilada sauce.
I only caught the second picture. I thought the knife handle was part of the cabinets. I didn't even caught that first picture.
Like, that's so dangerous.
Matt just in the chat, he sent me and 3 sobbing emojis.
Like,
I have not cared to figure out which. I know if my friend is smoking it, if they have smoked it and the smell or anything has lingered on them, it will make me feel nauseous. That is the extent to the experimenting I have done. It's an allergy that runs in the family. My uncle, he puffed once and it almost killed him when he was a child. My cousin, however, partakes frequently. So I just know that I had friends who partook and it made me sick just to be around them after they partook. So I just, I'm not like the peanut and the lactose intolerant gang. I don't
Yeah.
I don't care enough to try it with an EpiPen nearby.
CB, I would go as far as to say you are not careful. I don't think any way. I don't think there's a careful way to achieve what you did.
Not from her height and that angle, no.
Like,
CB, fires and potential mudslide just wasn't dangerous enough for you. You had to involve Nice. She was hangry.
Yeah, dude. See, just last week, I cut myself crushing garlic with my knife. Not even chopping it. The crushing is what cut my thumb. The clove shot out from underneath the blade, and it went into my thumb. And then CB gets to stab a can.
I had a horrifying discovery a couple weeks ago about my old roommate. Thankfully, well, I had where, like, literally, I think it was, like, days before I moved. Me and her were talking in the kitchen. She was doing the dishes. And at one point, I have a spoon handy. At one point, her doing the dishes was to run a spoon underwater, go this 3 times, and then put it on the drying rack. And I realized in that moment why our dishes are always so dirty. It's because she doesn't use soap. And then I made the mistake of, on my last day, like, I had to bring a plant, and just, like, I, like, went after school, grabbed it. But when I went, like, right after my class, I went and grabbed food. I grabbed a burger and poutine. And then I brought it to her place, being like, I'll have a nice warm place to eat, and I don't have to sit in the restaurant, Sam Big for now.
It's fine. I'm sharing something.
But anyway, so I go to my old place, I have the food, and I make the mistake of grabbing a fork from the cutlery. And then I get to my new place, because I ate there. I get to my new place, my stomach feels off, I take a nap. Because I'm like, maybe I'm also just tired, I need a nap. I wake up from that nap and proceed for the next 5 hours to vomit 12 times. And it was to the point. It was bad. I couldn't hold down water. And at one point, I'm just sitting there contemplating the fact that what are we doing? I'm contemplating the fact that I'm in, like, my room is in the basement. There's an entire floor between me and my new roommates. Mm-hmm. And so if I pass out and hit my head off the tile, no one's going to find me. Yeah. It's like 11 at night. Everyone thinks I'm asleep. And so I was sitting there contemplating, because I also could not get any farther than, like, from the bedroom to the bathroom without having the urge to vomit. And so I was like, I'm going to have to, like, if this continues for another hour, I'm going to have to call 911 and explain to them that I really just need to be rehydrated, but I can't move.
Right, like, can you just come to give me an IV real quick?
Like, you're going to have to take me there. I can't get farther, like, than one room over. Thankfully, I was able to, like half an hour before my deadline, I was, or maybe about an hour before my deadline, like 11 o'clock hit, and I was feeling okay, was able to drink water, everything seemed to have settled, and I was able to survive, but I took the day off school the next day, and, thankfully, my teacher also took, was also not feeling well and had to take a sick day, although she sent her message about class being canceled while I was in the midst of throwing up, so I didn't see it. So then night before my class, I was like laying there, and I was like, my one teacher, one of my teachers was like, if you guys are sick, it would be really nice if you guys sent us an email beforehand so we know. And I'm like, I'm one of those people, I'm always participating in class. They're going to notice immediately. And it was also the first time I've ever had to call in sick from any classes so far, right? And so I was like, couldn't sleep, and was like, sort of trying to debate going to class, and I'm like, no, fuck it, I'm gonna send the emails off, like, to both my teachers for my 2 classes, and I'm gonna finally sleep and wake up. And so my teacher responded, and then I later saw that she had canceled the class anyway. So next time I see her at the classes on Wednesday, that shall be a fun experience to also be like, what happened to you?
Did you also get food poisoning?
Oh, it was so bad.
So what I am showing you here is that so my husband has these little figures that he uses to decorate his desk. Yes, that is Jinx. Technically not Arcane Jinx. It's actually League of Legends Jinx, whom Arcane Jinx is based on. Very big difference in outfits though, and personality. But anyway, this weekend, while Chris and I were out on a date, we went to Books A Million, and they had one singular Batra left, which Batra is a monster from the Godzilla universe. And so I bought it for him because they only had one left, and he's been like drooling over this thing forever. And I looked up at my webcam. Yeah, I'm sorry, my hand's blocking the webcam because I didn't want you guys to be blinded by the flash. But and I just look up at the top of the webcam, and he just has Jinx riding Batra on my webcam.
I didn't realize it was a bat. I just saw like the details. I'm getting an eye test this week, I swear. I might need glasses. But my immediate thought that it was Jinx, upper half, lower half octopus.
Oh, I thought it was like a badass cape at first glance.
No, it's Batra. Yeah.
That's sick.
Now let me put him back up there. Oh, no, Jinx, don't you fall off. There we go. Yeah, when he first got Godzilla, which the children bought, Godzilla and Jinx would be posed together. Yeah, Godzilla and Jinx would be posed together. Like at one point, she was riding the back of Godzilla. At another point, he was like just carrying her. There was at one point a prom pose with Godzilla and Jinx. So Chris is just doing all kinds of monster stuff, monster universe things with Jinx. I love it. I think it's adorable. I just didn't expect to look up and see that on my webcam, which I told him, I'm like, I got to take the webcam and set up my GarageDen office soon. And Chris goes, no, you have a webcam on your laptop. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, I'm taking my webcam with me. And he's like, then what will Batra sit on? And I'm like, buy your own webcam.
Buys a webcam, not to use as a webcam, but just for Batra Jinx to sit on.
So, to catch back up on chat, I have a pal allergic to lavender and sometimes
with draining. I love lavender so much.
Oh.
Grows near lavender or something, I don't know. You must be allergic to the plant. That's what I assume. Ignore the scars. I'm good with knives.
Hey, practice makes perfect.
That is true.
Yeah, like you can literally be allergic to anything. I had one
friend allergic to alcohol as well.
Yeah, I had one person tell me, they were like, you can't be allergic to weed. And I'm like, my nausea could differ. Oh, yes, I explained what the thing was. Can't relate, # the sick kid.
I would just frequently pose as being sick and skip school. But I wasn't frequently actually sick.
I was never sick. To this day, I don't get sick. Like, I don't get the flu. I don't get the cold. And if I do, I don't get symptoms. Mm-hmm. Like, strep is the thing that plagued me the most. And I just lived my life with that. Son of a bitch. I was trying to set this up.
I had a cold a couple weeks ago, actually. But before that, I haven't been sick in like 2 years. But it finally got me.
Sorry, y'all. This is Restream, and I'm learning it. Should be this one, right?
Yeah, I'm bigger. You can see both Luna and Boo are eating in their box there. You can clearly see Luna. I don't know if you can quite. You can see kind of see Boo. He's sitting like horizontally for some reason eating. I don't know what's he doing, Boo?
There we go.
But my cuties.
But yeah, you can also like get an allergy to things that you've never before had an allergy to. It's wild. Webcam is for streaming. Yeah, if we can get him a webcam, he might actually start showing up on Monday Lives again.
Nice.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I thought dragon eating a person. That's fair. This is all over my head. I don't consume this sort of stuff, but thank you for letting me play in your sandbox. No problem. I think some don't realize they're allergic to other aspects of weed. They just say, I don't like the way it makes me feel. That could be fair. Like, our bodies are this living, breathing thing that literally cares very little about what our
I'm picturing their bodies are just covered in hives, and they're just like, yeah, it just kind of makes me anxious.
I just don't like it.
I can't put my finger on it, just covered in hives.
I don't know why.
I'm hoping the bunnies will eventually, because they're eating, but if they, like, step out of the enclosure, you will see them, because this light is, like, right in front of where they are. Luna decided instead to lounge right in front of the litter box. I don't know if you'll be able to see her. But, yeah, no, you can see Boo, but she's just literally, like, laying down right in front of here for absolutely no reason. There's a blanket right there.
I also want to say, I think StreamYard had the same thing, but I love the message that says, you're in the show, subtitle, everyone can see and hear you. Just the most ominous way they could phrase that.
Like, wait, StreamYard or Restream?
I think they both have it. I'm looking at Restream definitely has it, but I think StreamYard had it too. But just everyone can see and hear you. It's such a just like scary way to put that.
They're all watching.
Yeah, like, everyone is watching. Just like, whoa, man, take it easy.
My son is allergic to kiwi. I've not yet discovered an allergy, knocks on wood. Yeah, whenever I go to the doctor's office or something, they'll be like, any allergies? I'm like, not that we know of. Because, like, I'm determined that the day I forget to say that, we'll discover one.
Getting tested is the worst.
The only allergy I've found for myself is morphine, turns out. So, yeah.
That's a fun one to have.
I would argue the contrary.
When they test you for like the environmental animal ones, they take little swabs and they dot each different thing on your arm in a little grid, but then you're not allowed to touch it for 20 minutes, which if you have no allergies is fine, but if you have an allergy, even the mildest one,
want to scratch that motherfucker.
It itches like it's on fire, and you're sitting there just gripping your hand, just oh my god, torture. It's the longest 20 minutes of your life. And then in my case, they were like, yes, you inherited your dad's prone to hay feverness, which has never affected me in my life, and has also never affected him in his life. That allergy test is the worst I've had of the hay fever. So that was a fun one.
Yeah. No, I think I've lost. I don't know that it's allergies necessarily the right term, but speaking of itching, I don't think poison ivy affects me anymore. I think I've built up an immunity to poison ivy.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I don't think
that, or I'm just wildly lucky. But I'm in the woods enough, and I'm not careful about it. That I deserve to have had poison ivy in the last decade.
Deserve.
So and haven't. I haven't had poison ivy since I was a kid, and I've had many a time where I've definitely touched poison ivy.
I'm very allergic to poison ivy, or at least I used to be. I haven't engaged with it in eons.
Yeah, my mom was super allergic to poison ivy, and when me and my siblings were kids, we were always getting poison ivy, and she was always just like, "I can't. You're gonna have to deal with this. I can't be near you."
Cataracts run in my family, which is fun for me. I always get nagged about wearing sunglasses. But yeah, and then also bad teeth, and the bunnies have inherited both somehow. That's what I found out when I took them to the vet.
I tried stop smoking patches once a decade ago, and the little squares scarred for a long time, several years. So I sometimes say maybe adhesive, and then they get all paranoid. But
that's fair.
Stay paranoid. I don't smoke ciggies now. Save a lot of money not doing that.
Oh hell yeah!
Lactose
hard thing to quit.
Lactose intolerant shows up with age in my fam, but I don't really dig milk or cheese, so I don't know if it'll happen to me. That's I wish I could not be allergic to poison ivy. I never had poison oak / ivy, so am I allergic? No idea. My yard is full of it. Knocks on wood again.
Oh no.
Although a coworker told me once that there is apparently a pill that you can take to build immunity to it. That's fascinating and makes sense.
I've heard
Apothecaries used to like ingest things to build up immunities. So
yeah. No, I mean, I've
it
heard of
introduced-
people building up an immunity to poison ivy, and I feel like that makes sense. And like, I used to get it all the time as a kid, and now I never get it. So like, I feel like
So maybe you just built a
yeah, like
immunity to
I
it.
think having poison ivy every 3 months for 6 years made me no longer be allowed to have it. It's like a punch card, and it's all done.
I will say you can also develop an allergy to things that you're like overexposed
Yeah.
to, so it can go
Also
either
true.
way.
Yeah. What a
I have a very
coin to
mild
flip.
allergy to cats, and I think that's actually how it happened. Was growing up around them.
Very cool. Modern medicine is wild.
Yeah.
All medicine is wild. Modern, historic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start us up our first sprint.
Brilliant.
Also, thank you all for your patience as I learn the new system and the ways I can alter it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun getting smaller, bigger, smaller, bigger.
I'm supposedly allergic to some steroid pack, but I think middle school me used slight hives as an excuse to go out.
That's a good one.
I'll do it.
Time to go home. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, hello. How did everybody do? I made myself mac and cheese, and I read some of Scum Villain Self-Saving System Volume 2 while the mac and cheese was cooking. I've got almost half of the reading I need to do for my goal today. We will be... Oh, you two are muted. Hold on.
Yeah.
There you go. CB and I will be having our book talk live stream for it on Saturday. So there's still time if anybody wants to, read volume. I would recommend reading volume 1 first, or you're going to be hella confused going into volume 2. And I almost started reading volume 3 because my Kindle app loaded the wrong one up. And I was like, wait a second, I don't know what's going on. And I went and I'm like, because I'm in the wrong book.
It's why, I'm always concerned about, because it's happened to me before where I grabbed the wrong one and, the beginning of the, next one is, big spoiler stuff. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, luckily there was nothing big spoiler.
Yeah.
Or at least I didn't understand it enough for it to be a spoiler
right.
yet. So.
I organized my drawers and put some stuff in the closet, and Boo was a little terror who did an escape from my room towards the end there. I think you guys will see him. I pointed at him and was like, you get back here. And then he proceeded, when he came running back, he was being a devilish little jester about it. He was being cheeky about it, doing little jumps on the way back. He clearly knew he was in trouble and he loved it. And now he's cleaning his little paws in self-congratulation.
Eva said, my mother said I was allergic to kitten dander when I was a kid, but I either got over it or she said no to a kitten.
I've read this comment twice, and both times I read kitten danger.
Kitten danger. Oh yeah, I needed RP to go read DMs. Gonna be doing embroidery and watching Dropout.
Were you able to get access to someone else's account? Because I never was able.
Her dad bought her an account.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, my account is on an old email that I no longer have access to. And when you go to their support, they're like, yeah, we'll send you an email. And I'm like, no, don't send me an email. In my description thing, I'm like, if you need to email me at this email address. And I've never heard anything again. So
well, fear not. I still use your account frequently.
Yep. But if it ever goes away, I may be just screwed. I'll probably just have to make a new account.
That would be sad.
Can you not just wait? Because you can log into it. Can you not just change the email?
Nope.
Some security things are they have to email the old email in order to change the email, so that if people hack your account, they don't just change the email. And however, usually they'll have a thing where it's one of your reasons for changing it is that you no longer have access to that email, and then they'll do some other security things. But yeah.
But yeah, I signed up using my old school account, or my university account, and I was assured when I got my university account that we would have access to it until the end of time. But then Google changed their policies, which then forced my university to change their policies and take my account away.
Damn you, Google.
I see.
That's why I also don't have access to any of my old schoolwork. Which, what would I do with that? But I don't have it.
I actually have, because I saw on it was something. I had this project where we had to read a bunch of school policy stuff and then comment a thing we learned, and we got easy marks on it. And while I was reading through that stuff, it was by the way, there's an expiration date on your course materials, and it tells you, and once that's gone, you can't access those course materials anymore. And I was like, I put that as one of my things of like that I learned, because I was like, I'm gonna make a note of that and make sure to save it. And literally, like, on the day, I was like saving files like mad, because yeah, for my like schooling, it is important to my future job to have that information. And it was also a thing too of like, I have like my own notes, but having what the notes are based off of is important, you know?
Sure.
But many worksheets.
I had an old professor who knew precisely how to fuck with me and get me to read the syllabus, because I'm never going to read a syllabus. I've been to a class before. I don't need the syllabus. But this professor said, here's the syllabus. There are 10 grammatical errors within this like 7-page syllabus. I'll give you an extra credit point for each one you find. Well, I don't care about the extra credit points, but if you give me a treasure hunt, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I spent more time on that assignment than any assignment for the rest of the semester, just combing through that thing.
It would be funnier if there were actually only 9.
Oh yeah, part of me was just like, he's just the right amount of devilish to do this.
One of my classes has where like our textbook has games that you can play. Like you can like they had where like at first they like were like, oh, like on the textbook, like in the page, like in the first page, like the back of the cover, it's like, oh, for study materials you can, you know, do this. And I like had done like their little like flashcardy guys and was like, I finished this. And then I went to click, I was like, because there was like a bunch of different like synonyms for student study thing that they had like in their menu. It was like student resources, student study, student this. And so I was just clicking around on them, and then one of them I click and it's got a little controller icon and it says games. And I was like, what do you mean games? And then proceeded to click it, and I can now play for every single chapter of my textbook. And this is a textbook we use for the entire like diploma too. It's I can play Jeopardy or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh, nice.
And they're both really fun. The only thing is that they have a tendency to give you the same questions over and over again, so it's not actually comprehensive for studying, which I discovered by getting 75 on a quiz, and I'm upset about it because I played so many of those games. But
yeah, I would get really into making like Kahoots for myself as a way to study.
All right, I'm gonna catch up on chat.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we read that one.
Yeah, Kitten Danger.
Yeah, Storm wants to help, aka licking my hands. I'm putting together new furniture for my room, feeling very Bob the Builder right now. Nice. CB wants to know what the furniture is. I put together a garment rack and a standing lamp. Ooh. I spent the first sprint watching the last episode of Critical Role's Campaign 3. Oh man, their finales.
I had my first D&D on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
So good. I spent 90% of the session as a raven trapped in one of the other characters' hands as she like carried me around. And other players kept being like, yeah, we'll help. We're a band of heroes. And I kept being like, I have no choice.
I have literally been dragged around. I am being manhandled.
It was so good. It was so much fun.
Glad you
but
had
yeah,
fun.
And we also had where one of like for the DM's birthday, one of the other players had promised to make a cake, but then that didn't happen during the birthday. It happened during the session. So we had this like decadent chocolate raspberry cake that we were eating. And so at one point I'm like, as a raven, like repeating clues that I want everyone to know, but I'm standing in the kitchen shoveling cake onto my plate and then into my mouth. It was really good. I'm so excited for the next one.
It is a good book. I'm like 38 pages in now. 5 minutes left of it. I'll finish it and then do some reading. Fair enough. I wasn't gonna read all of Scumville, and you will have a lot of fun. Could you imagine just like having the book club book talk just showing up and it's like, we were going to talk about volume 2 today, but I don't know what happened, so we're going to talk about volume 3.
Which drink is that?
The strawberry fun.
I gotta say, there are few things in
Just hand
this
me a
modern life
body armor
that I
from the closet.
detest more than assembling furniture. It's
Wait,
just
sorry, say that again?
I hate assembling furniture just so much.
Oh, I love it.
I'll come to
I'll
your
come
house.
over to your house next time you have furniture.
Yeah, a
available.
lot of people love it, and I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Just pick me up from Canada. I'll come over.
I'm very neutral to the actually putting together of the furniture. I don't like or dislike it, but I like putting it to use after I put it together. So
Oh no,
I'm
I
very
love
motivated.
I think
So much
it's
fun.
just something about the way instructions are usually written that I'm like, did you have a word count of like 6? Like, why aren't you using more words here? They'll be just like a sparse diagram and like 3 words, and I'm like, why wouldn't you say more?
You must have elven eyesight to see some of those numbers for how many things you need to put where.
Yeah, they're just like, it'll be just like, oh, put C into F, and I'm just like, which direction? Because there's 2 holes on F. Is it on the left or the right? No. Like,
and even if you follow the directions, sometimes you still have to figure it out.
Yeah, I've never made anything that isn't backwards at some point.
Well, that's part of the fun. You got to figure out what you messed up.
No, it's part of the wrath that makes me want to just smash it.
I really need to come over to your house, so you really got to drive me in from Canada the next time you assemble furniture. It would be more cost effective.
Yeah, I like the building. It's the instruction.
There's been times where like I'm like making a chair, and I'm just like, we're about to just throw the chair off the balcony and sit on the box.
That's like, I don't need a chair no more.
I'm a chill, easygoing guy till it comes time to build furniture.
My next project is that I'm gonna put a full shelf of books, like from this wall to this wall, which is 12 feet minus 1 inch across. I had to get the wood cut. It was very fun. But yeah, no, it's gonna be. I gotta put up 9 brackets. I hate using a drill is the problem. So I'm debating whether I want to do it by hand or rope in my one friend who knows how to use a drill but is famously not handy. And every time he's been over and I've been like assembling or painting or something, he just watches or just sits and watches TV while I do it. And so it'll be interesting to see him actually get building.
Yeah.
If he does, or if it just ends up being that I do it by hand, which would kill my arms. So I'm probably not going to, but maybe I will. I do this thing where like I'll be like, oh yeah, I could do that, not thinking about how much it would be and how like the limits of my body, especially as I'm getting older, and I push myself way too hard all the time. And that's why I have a massage booked this week.
I used to get massages.
CB said she got a 1-month subscription paid for by her dad, and if no one else in her family watches any, then she will take over payments next month. She said, I think Sunday she watched like 10 hours of Game Changer.
Oh, I love Game Changer so much.
I don't know if it was real. I don't know if it was real, but a teacher on socials put in the middle of their syllabus, email me your favorite candy when you get here.
Yeah, I've seen people like teachers do that on the socials. Thank you.
Matt and I are very different. I love putting together IKEA furniture. It's my favorite part of getting the furniture.
My bookshelf, I just had one of my friends come over and had him build the entire thing, and I just supplied beer for him. I'm like, I will give you as many beers as it takes as long as this gets built.
To me, people who like Legos are also people who enjoy putting together furniture, which I am. I like the challenge.
See, I like Legos, or I should say like Legos. I haven't played with Legos in dozens of years. 1 dozen. But I don't like Legos with an instruction booklet. I like a bucket of miscellaneous Legos, and I get to build a spaceship out of that.
If only your furniture.
Yeah.
Without
miscellaneous like the authority that instructions give you.
Yeah.
It took me an hour and some blood to build Storm a cat tower yesterday that she has barely touched. Give her a couple days.
I'm not surprised about the blood.
Yeah, I gotta say, after seeing
we saw
the
that
enchilada
can.
sauce,
I think Eva is trying to bribe people with Tootsie Rolls to build things.
I'll build things.
I have to build another table and bookcases pretty soon. I've needed bookcases for a while, though.
Yeah, my books are all currently in the closet, which is funny because a lot of them are gay. But it's the bookshelf shelf is the only place that they'll fit until I have this shelf up. Huh?
I said, why would you shove them back in there?
I know, right? It's evil. But then they get to come out of the closet. It'll be a whole adventure.
It'll be a grand celebration. The coming out jubilee.
Funny enough, I am doing a rainbow of like the brackets, so that'll be fun.
We're gonna get a small bookcase for the garage den. I'm thinking of getting rid of the couch in there. Excuse me, because it's used less as the family room now. So I'm thinking of getting rid of the couch to get some different sitting furniture, because it's basically just going to become my area. So, but in the meantime, I want to get a small bookshelf for the family library, especially since it's been growing. Books A Million sells these mythology book collections for only like $13. If you try to get them online, they're anywhere from $22 to $30. So we try to grab one when we go in there and have the extra. I'm very sad because Chris thought they were $20, not $13. So when we were in there and there was one copy of their Viking one left, I was like, we need to get it now. And he's like, it'll be here. It'll be fine. Guess what wasn't there?
Oh.
Ended up getting Egyptian one instead. But it's okay. I'm only a little salty.
Just a little. I had actually where my first DNF of the year was this book that like the book promised. For one Tootsie Roll. That definitely counts.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Things definitely count.
My cheapo embroidery hood is warped and it can't hold on to my fabric. Oh no.
Oh, you mean your embroidery hoop?
I think she means the hoop, yeah. I like finishing putting together furniture because then I get to look at it and be glad that it's done. But the actual building of it, nah, fam.
Invite me over. I have another friend in North Carolina too. I can visit them both. And both of you.
I prefer to build them by myself because, like, if I try to build things with Chris or my children, they get very impatient, and then I get like, I get stressed dealing with their impatience and stress. If I'm just building it by myself, it's fine. But
it's never fine.
I like a bucket of Legos too. Had a desk made by putting an unused door over top of some equally high cabinets. I thought you were going to say you built a functioning desk out of Legos.
I did as well.
I was expecting that too.
I'm planning on getting one of the new One Piece Lego sets, depending on if I like the chosen designs. No, my couch. I'll get you an equally comfortable couch. It'll be fine. Yes, this. I like decorating with new things and can afford the sorts of things I put together. Putting them together, meh. Definitely not late. It's fine. I was literally on Discord. Why no telling me? It's Monday. It's the weekly stream. I didn't know I had to tell people. I mean, I do, but you know, sometimes life happens.
It has the little turtle. Right?
Exactly, Eva. I hate putting together furniture like that. You can build my stuff. I'm outside St. Louis for your vacation route plans.
St. Louis. I don't know where St. Louis is actually. I know it's a
Missouri
restaurant here.
Missouri, if that's helpful.
That doesn't really help. Wait.
Yeah.
What?
It's like it's
what
pretty
state
well in
is
the
New
middle.
Orleans in? Is that also
New Orleans
Missouri?
is Louisiana, which is south of
Okay.
Missouri.
They are
Okay.
very,
I love
very.
their accents.
They're not even in the same sections of the
I
continent.
don't know anything about Missouri.
In a vertical sense, or I'm sorry, in a horizontal
No, is
sense.
Missouri on the right or the left of Ohio?
It's west of Ohio, and so is Louisiana.
Okay, so
like
okay,
I think.
what's
all right,
Missouri
they
got
may be in
other
like the
than
same
St. Louis?
little.
Kansas City is in Missouri. Isn't that fun?
Yeah,
I don't know
okay,
what
if
Kansas
you're
City
like
is.
driving,
What does Kansas City got?
hold on, if you're driving from Canada to New Orleans, depending on where you start in Canada, you could feasibly go through St. Louis.
Yeah. Missouri's pretty just due north of Louisiana, isn't it? Are you looking at a map?
Yeah, it.
Yeah.
Well,
What's it got?
pretty
Nothing.
much. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah,
Is that
I
one of the
was.
ones that just has corn, or is that only Ohio?
It doesn't even have corn. It just has concrete. Apologies to anyone that might.
No, I had.
Yeah, St. Louis.
Maybe you guys have something good suggestions.
Honestly, that in my mental map, I had Ohio where Indiana is and Missouri where Ohio was.
Ah, yeah.
I guess my brain mirrored, like rotated.
The weekend has made me salty towards Kansas City and therefore the state of Missouri.
Oh, because of the football.
Because of the football. But
because I used to put the custom names and numbers on like jersey football T-shirts, and so my teacher was talking today about there being football if we watch the football, and I was like, no, I just remember it being a very stressful time at work.
Yeah. So no actual hate towards the state of Missouri, but for now I have hate towards the state of Missouri.
Mississippi.
See,
Mississippi's right next to Louisiana.
Missouri's kind of in the middle. All right, I see.
Mm-hmm.
They have a Buc-ee's?
Used to build things from like scratch. Like we built the porches on my mom's house, and lots of picnic tables and decorative wishing wells. Our like neighborhood at one point in time just had a bunch of wishing wells because he made one for all the neighbors. We could do that. I am down for a Tina visit. I will say he is in North Carolina, which is
I know where North Carolina is. See, I've had an online friend from North Carolina for many, many years, so I know where North Carolina exactly is. And there were some hurricanes that I was worried about that went from North Carolina up to Toronto, and so we were both like, "Are you okay?" But
Alice, that's fair. I did know. I should have.
My friend lives in either.
I have dropped the ball now.
My friend lives in either Raleigh, which I always pronounced in my head as Raleigh, or Charlotte. One of the two. She's mentioned one of the two, and I'm like, is it because one is bigger than the other, and she's telling me like her closest big city, but then she's actually that? I don't know. But yeah, opinions about football, Kansas City, boo, I guess.
Yeah,
isn't
we don't
the
like
one
them.
That Taylor Swift's boy?
Yeah, but that's not why we don't like them, or at least that's not why I don't like them. I have nothing against Taylor Swift. It's for football reasons. It's not for pop culture reasons.
Is your EU Kansas City also for football reasons, or do you have North Carolina reasons?
Are they enemies?
I don't know. This is
some states are enemies with each other.
I know that every time I see a Texan on TV or in media, they like to shit talk Tennessee, and they think that Tennesseans have a really big beef with Texas. But I've never met a Tennessean who actually cares. And to be fair, I don't know that I've met a real Texan who cares either. So I'm like, where did this come from?
Everyone else in the rest of Canada all makes fun of Quebec, the French one. But then also everyone else in Canada hates Toronto, my city, and I completely understand why. So we are the New York of Canada. Like, I understand the, like, no one else gets attention, and so we hate it. I perfectly understand this. Caves? I'm not a cave explorer person.
Oh, I like caves. I won't go into a small cave, but a large cave, I like a large cave.
St. Louis is an affordable city with a
Yeah, I actually have heard mostly good things about St. Louis as a city. And they have a fun art.
That we have a chain that's like St. Louis. I think it's a bar and maybe a chicken place.
Oh, because St. Louis is like big with barbecue. St. Louis barbecue is a big thing.
Yeah, every year my mom is like
devilishly good.
Every year my mom's like, we should take the kids up to the St. Louis Zoo because it's only like a 4-hour drive, and we're like, yeah, sure, we'll do it, and then we never do it.
I've only passed through St. Louis, but I did stop for barbecue, and it was fantastic.
I have to try it. Okay, I think it was football reasons. Gotta put my project on hold till I get a new hoop. That's fair. I'm in Illinois, though, metro east of St. Louis, so I have the corn, but rivers are cool and big skies and not being stuck in traffic all day, but also having city living within reach.
Yeah.
You could come visit me.
I could come visit you.
You're
going to travel through the U.S. for like a month just building furniture.
Yeah.
Just a traveling carpenter.
IKEA tour and just...
You have a friend here. Matt knows people here. I live in North Carolina. Impromptu retreat in North Carolina.
North Carolina rocks. It would be a really good location for a retreat. I'm just saying.
My husband's fantasy team is my favorite. The NFL can suck one, in my opinion.
Fair.
That's fair. They do not take care of their players. His team already won the championship. I'd have to take action if you spoke bad about my girl.
A lot of people hate the Chiefs for Taylor Swift, and those people are wrong.
There's no reason.
There's no reason to hate Taylor Swift.
Wait, did you say hate the cheese?
Chiefs.
Yeah, Taylor Swift is beating
Kansas City.
Chiefs. Oh, because the KC that I immediately now know. I think if you guys refer to the teams by what their logo
because you've done
then
the
I will know
embroidery.
exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I might be able to get the city from there.
Okay, it is just the football reason. I have family in Knoxville.
I've heard of that one.
I used to. New York and Mass have beef. Massachusetts. I misread it as New York en masse has beef. And I'm like, New York has beef with everybody now. I don't actually hate Missouri or Kansas City. Arkansas gives me bad vibes.
It's where Walmart's from.
Arkansas is how it's pronounced, apparently.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yes, but I call it Arkansas.
Arkansas. Okay.
Arkansas. Yeah, it's where Walmart is from.
Not a regional thing. That's just a Sam thing.
Okay. It took me a minute to figure out what you were talking about because there was like, there's so many like.
It's spelled Arkansas.
Is it? Did CB spell it wrong?
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm missing an S.
She spelled it incorrectly.
Yeah.
She did. I have a map pulled up by the way, guys, and I've been staring at it this whole time to be like, yes, Missouri and it's beside Illinois. I don't remember.
Ohio is supposed to have beef with Michigan, but I have nothing but positive feelings towards Michigan, and Indiana is the state that I rage against.
I think it would be fun to have where we pull up a blank map. Where we pull up a blank map and have me guess what things are called, because I'm notoriously bad at it, except for North Carolina.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah.
Do you remember if it's Arkansas or one of the states nearby that essentially the American government gave most of it back to the Native Americans?
That's Oklahoma.
Thank you. Yes. They are nearby each other, right?
Yeah, Arkansas is east of Oklahoma. U.S. geography is one of my favorite things, and so I know all the states.
I used to have every single state memorized because my grandfather was a truck driver, and I kept track of where he was at all times. So like I knew where all of the states were, and now I'm like, I mentally just group ones together, and I'm like, these ones are near each other, and they're somewhere in this area.
I took a national parks class in college.
I don't have a problem with Jersey. I have a friend who lives in Jersey. I will say I knew somebody from North Jersey who it was so stupid. We were talking about stuff, and he was talking about the New Jersey accent that you see and hear on TV. And he's all like, yeah, that doesn't actually exist. Like, I was born and raised in New Jersey, and we don't have that accent. And I'm like, I was in New Jersey 2 months ago visiting a very good friend of mine, and his, like, high school friend, her entire family had that accent. And he's like, oh, well, where were you? I was like, I was, like, south of Newark. And he goes, oh, that's South Jersey. We don't.
Jersey is this big. The whole state's one city. It's like 9 miles long.
like, he's sitting here having a big fit that this accent is completely made up and does not exist in reality. And then I'm like, but I've heard it. And I tell him where, and immediately he's just like, oh, that region just doesn't exist. And I'm like, I think the people who live there would beg to disagree. Also, I love that New Jersey accent, so.
Matt, now
They were all very Italian, too. Like, it was great.
Matt, now I want to quiz you about Canadian geography.
Oh, nothing.
Hold on, I want to catch up on
which
chat
is
first.
exactly, it would be brilliant. It would be brilliant to get you to guess.
At least New York.
And now I'm debating whether I want to have where I show you a blank map and then I just give you a name and you try to figure out where it is, or if you just try to guess all the names.
Yeah.
I hate the Rams, and I'm glad they aren't here anymore, but I started hating them while volunteering at their training camp and being catcalled as a teen by NFL players. Grudges, I like them. I mean, that's fair.
Hell no.
Also, Raleigh, Tina, I'm down the road from Raleigh.
Hell yeah. So it won't be much of a trek.
My son's second name is Raleigh. Aww.
Oh, that's cute.
Nah, Sam, it was me. I should have been keeping an eye out. My days run together and was in just this planning stream while washing dishes, so my eyeballs were occupied. My mistake, but North Carolina here. There's
a lot of North Carolina.
Tina, just make a grand tour of the U.S. Tina's
my IKEA
international tour. Mountains to the west and ocean to the east. I live in the middle, so if you want either one, it's a 4-hour drive either way.
Well,
your weather.
International tour, then I'm going outside of the continent too. Where else am I going to? Do we have anyone in Europe?
That needs a couch build.
Not during this.
I'll go visit Wilma.
Yes. My in-laws, who I just met for the 3rd and 4th times this month, are in Arkansas.
See, that's the first real person I've ever heard of being from Arkansas.
Tina goes back home. What did you do while in the U.S.? Build furniture. What else? Nothing. Ate Waffle House.
Honestly,
and
Waffle House. I'm definitely visiting so many Waffle Houses.
Love Waffle House.
Time I go.
There's one right by my apartment.
I didn't go to Target. And the thing is that Canadians love Target. It is our holy grail to go to Target because we used to have Target here. It was not nearly as good, and then they took it away.
Tina is gonna have a Waffle House journal. It'd be like North Carolina Waffle House A. I've got some fun Waffle House facts that my dad gave. He was watching this thing, this special on Waffle House.
They deserve it.
I want to see a special one.
Give me a sec. I want to catch up on chat first. North Carolina has beach, mountains, and everything in between. Something for everyone here, and it's all within about a 4-hour drive. North Carolina has hurricanes too. That's what I was thinking, Eva. That geography says hurricane.
Myrtle Beach is in North Carolina, isn't it?
I believe Myrtle Beach is South Carolina.
Is it South Carolina? I have been as a wee baby, because it's also a popular if you're in Toronto, you go down to Myrtle Beach for vacation spot. And so there is home video of me as a 2-year-old in the Myrtle Beach aquarium pointing at sharks.
The politics in the U.S. are looking bleak lately, Eva.
I would never. I'm so sorry. You guys can come to Canada.
No, I don't like their politics much better, to be honest. Y'all are just America's little sibling. Got all the same issues.
Maybe are you maybe thinking about Fox and his Alberta? Because we're
okay, but here's the thing: you can't discredit the issues on the other half of your country just because you don't live on the. That's like us going, America's perfectly fine, and then somebody brings up Texas, and we're like, oh well, that's not America. No,
I didn't say perfectly fine. I said better than the U.S. That's different.
and like I said, it's looking at historical things. It's too similar for me to care, honestly. I feel so much better about my lack of geographical knowledge. Thank you all sincerely. Bagel, water. I'm joking. That's a Philly accent.
To be fair, Philly's basically New
South Jersey. See, bruh, your state isn't even that big. The S in Illinois is silent also.
Wait, where's Philadelphia?
It's in northeastern Pennsylvania, and New Jersey's right there.
You said north, and I thought you were going to say one of the north states, and then you said east, and I was like, I don't know about any states that say both north and east. What is this northeast state?
Northeast Pennsylvania.
I'm not sure what laws are here as far as women's rights. Honestly, not something I personally have looked into. Raleigh, not Raleigh. Gotcha. Raleigh. Hold on. I'm being told two different things. Is it Raleigh or Raleigh?
Yeah, is it a
There's
AW
was
or
an
an
author
AH?
humor from Arkansas, but pretty much he was canceled for being racist. Fair. So many Waffle
Sounds like
Houses
bad
here
vibes.
in Cracker Barrels. I have a Waffle House down the way. We have hurricanes and beaches, but if you live near or west of Raleigh, Durham, we only ever really get the leftovers as the hurricanes die off. We have river beaches, not the same thing at all whatsoever, but we have them. Oh, we do too. Lake
We
beaches.
have lake beaches. It's pretty
Southeasterners.
You're right. I always forget how far north Pennsylvania goes.
Where's Pennsylvania on the map?
It's
I would say
one
that Lake
state east
River
of
and
Ohio.
Lake River and ocean beaches are all very different, but it's at least, a beach you can go to. Did you steal?
Where is Pennsylvania again?
It's one state
it's right
east
under
of
New York.
Ohio. It's that big rectangle next to Ohio.
I like how I was like, oh yeah, one down from New York, and you were like, from Ohio, as if I automatically remember where Ohio is.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Yeah, but I remember that you're from Ohio. I don't remember where it is.
All
I
Americans.
know it's north of Tennessee and south of Toronto. That's it. I know the thing, but I didn't think about it when I was looking for Pennsylvania.
I would imagine it depends on the beach. Different beaches. I don't think Florida beaches care.
Yeah, I would think most beaches would be fine with that. I don't know why they wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything about Toronto's.
I will make this blanket statement but the vast majority of Americans will tell you where a state is based on the state they themselves live in.
Yeah.
We center ourselves.
I've had before, not with the states, but with cities. I had one time where I was talking on another server with someone, and they said that they were from a specific town, and I was like, oh, where is that? Thinking they would give me the state. And then they proceeded to say, it's nearby this city, which was another city. And when I looked up the original city that they had named, the first thing that came up was New Jersey or New York. And so I was like, oh, you're right close to me because I'm, and they were like, no, I'm not from New York. What are you talking about? And I was like, it's the first result that comes up on Google. What do you expect from me? But also there was 4 of them. It was such a generic name.
Yeah.
Cities get named the same thing all the time, right? You guys have a bunch of ones that we have, but yeah, I was so miffed.
My 7-year-old can
interesting.
identify over 60 national flags working on states. Hell yeah. I used to be able to do that when I was in elementary, and then
it goes.
That knowledge escapes.
No, my brain deleted it in favor of other anime-related.
Storage full, something's gotta go. It's flags.
So far, I've only found fishing weights, but treasures. Easiest to dig in sand is all. So some interesting Waffle House facts is Waffle Houses are designed to fit a specific number of people, and if a location becomes so popular that they would need a bigger Waffle House, they will just build another Waffle House down the road because the cook area is built for efficiency. And it is big enough that at full capacity, they can feed everyone in a timely manner and get them out the door and new customers in.
That's really smart.
And then if the first 2 locations are still so busy that they need more room, they will just build a third one. They will just keep building more Waffle Houses of the same size.
The Waffle Houses asexually reproduce.
Yeah, they just
they're all they just split.
Restaurants that sexually reproduce.
That makes a lot of sense. Once my dad told me that, I'm like, that's why we have 4 Waffle Houses within 20 minutes of each other.
I would do anything for Waffle House.
Will you build furniture for Waffle House?
If Waffle House needed that, yes.
Definitely build furniture.
Oh,
Waffle House.
What if I was just going to buy you Waffle House?
Oh, no. I meant, like, to help Waffle House.
Oh, to help? No, I meant
Like,
to eat Waffle House.
Yeah, no. Like, I mean, like, in a, like, dutiful sense. I would do anything if it meant helping Waffle House or defending Waffle House.
Also,
Maybe.
apparently their employees are, like, trained to an extent to handle rowdy customers and everything. And the woman who throws the Waffle House chair, like, she's well known in the thing because, like, she's just used to dealing with that. That's how often she deals with it. And I'm like, oh my god.
Woman who throws the Waffle House chair.
Oh, okay. Either you gotta look it up or I gotta find it for you. But there is a video where there's these people arguing with a Waffle House employee and they throw a chair at her and she
Videos like that stress me out.
She does this karate parry to where she just puts her arms through the chair circles around her and she chucks it behind her, and then she's basically like gotta come get it thing. And I'm like, and it went around for a while when the video was released. People were like, she's the final boss of Waffle House.
She, like, does the chair thing and then it blows up behind her. She just...
I think I did see this, actually, like as a GIF.
But it's like, the thing is that it's not that Waffle Houses attract like such poor clientele. It's just that Waffle House refuses to not build in an area just because of like crime statistics. They're like, everyone needs to be fed.
Yeah.
So they just like have their
And they're open all the time.
Yeah. So they just have their employees well equipped to handle these things, I suppose.
I posted a link to the video of the chair.
We have
I'm
Denny's
still
and
the link
IHOP.
queen.
I will never forgive IHOP for being the International House of Pancakes. And when me and my family went and everyone else ordered something that wasn't a pancake, and I ordered a pancake, and not only was my pancake bad, but also the fruit topping had gone bad.
Yeah, I've never had a good experience out of
How
IHOP.
dare you? Denny's is okay. It used to be like
Denny's.
my husband's favorite breakfast place until we went there one time with the children, and it took them over an hour and a half to bring out our food. And my husband was like, never again. He's like, that is too long a wait for a Denny's.
We have a Denny's. You can come here and have our Denny's. It is chaos, and I love it.
Yes, that's facts. There are 5 or 6 in Durham. Yeah, I live like 10 minutes from at least 3 of them.
Brilliant.
Matt, you're too kind. I just want the food. So
Look,
yeah.
Waffle House has done so much for me. I feel like I owe them. Waffle House was there for me at my lowest.
My aunt, I don't know if it was one of her first waitressing gigs, but the only waitressing gigs I remember that my aunt did were inside Waffle Houses. So Waffle House is very near and dear to my heart. Every now and then, my grandparents will find a little mom and pop breakfast place, and then we go there, and I'm like, half the time, I'm like, this is nice. I just want Waffle House. Waffle House is actually a special place for my family, and it coming up so organically on this specific date and time is a piece of magic for me. I can't really explain. Well, I'm glad, because it's special here too. I love seeing people talk about Waffle House in correlation to hurricanes. Basically, the video was, it's not time to evacuate or worry unless the Waffle House has closed.
See, they're real ones.
Yeah, it's like when there was one time we were getting ice storms and stuff, and Chris and I were picking up some things like right before they hit, and we wanted to pick up dinner because we were just like exhausted from running errands and stuff with the kids, and everywhere was closed except Waffle House. So we got Waffle House on the way home. They get after church rushes just the same. Bob Evans pissed me off using brown gravy on their biscuits.
That's insane.
What? No, you use the mushy liquid biscuit on the solid biscuit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that you described it as mushy really turned me off of it for a sec there.
Denny's me and Hugs loves Sia nachos.
Love the lumberjack breakfast.
One time at Waffle House, I was a young lad, and I left my debit card there. And it was such a just like small town experience, even though I don't live in a particularly small town. But because my family loves Waffle House so much, and it's always at Waffle House, our server called my mom and was like, "Hey, your son left his debit card. Have him come and get it." Waffle House is just so good, like capital G good, morally good Waffle House.
They can put brown gravy on any other biscuits, but not Waffle House biscuits. I lived off biscuits and gravy the past week.
I love biscuits and
Mushy
gravy
was
so
the
much.
bad word, but also it made sense. Yeah, I brain farted that.
It's upsetting, but it's correct.
It's a weird move, that the texture. But it's fine. I fumbled. I'm willing to admit it.
Gravy's so bad right now.
I also just had to, like, because the food poisoning I had involved poutine, I won't be able to have gravy for a while.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
brown
fair.
gravy.
I've been eating so much gravy lately.
I
Chris
just got that
food
packet
poisoning.
of biscuit gravy that I bought while I was in Tennessee. I haven't actually eaten it yet, and it doesn't seem to have any sort of expiry date on it, and so I'm like, well, I think it's still good. But
Chris had food poisoning after he had some turkey and brown gravy, like one of those dinners from the freezer section. Has not eaten it since then. And this happened before our middle child was born.
I had one of those a couple weeks ago and didn't feel so hot after. I think those might just be poison.
They may just be trying
there
to
might
kill
be
us
with all
all
like the
with it.
recalls and stuff that have happened.
Yeah, Tina, you're gonna have to let us know about future food recalls, because
oh yeah. I don't even know what information we are getting because of the information you guys are not getting.
I'm never eating again. That's not true. I'm concerned. This had a mouse right here.
Oh.
I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. I hid it from the dog. All right. So, let us sprint. 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, hey yo. We are back. So that sprint, I did some critiquing and checked on my children. What did everybody else do?
I wrote not many words at all. Let's see. Word count 118 words.
Nice.
No. I'm replacing an existing scene with a more dynamic scene.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to ask what you were working on.
Yeah, I'm still on my edit, and I'm mostly removing scenes. But in this particular case, the information does need to be gotten across, but it can be done in a more dynamic way. So I'm changing the outside of the scene, the middle of the scene. The actual purpose of the scene is staying the same.
Got you.
I cleared off a chair that had a lot of clothes on it by putting them in my closet.
It's always so satisfying.
Well, the chair's not mine, so.
No. Satisfying and necessary. Bella was going to be writing a poly werewolf story with the MC working in a diner, and I feel like the vibe I want is Waffle House adjacent, so now I need to visit Waffle Houses for research. Do it.
Honestly, do the whole like writing your manuscript in a cafe, but the cafe is Waffle House.
Oh, I would love to do that. I would love to make
I feel like
comic.
it would be so hard to get work done at a Waffle House.
I would love to do a challenge where, like, for 30 days, I have to only work on a comic while I'm at Waffle House and see how far I can get. You know, like, bring my iPad and, like, drawing it.
Your iPad is instantly sticky the minute you walk through the door.
Oh my god, yeah. With syrup that isn't even maple.
Yeah.
Your thundercloud scared my cat away. I'm sorry. I forget that Laura's timers often make a noise at the end of them. I'll try to remember to mute the next one. I worked on a fanfic, 171 words in that sprint. Nice.
Now I'm wondering if I can mention Waffle House in any of my whips.
My first book that I had self-published, the main character was a werewolf who was a Waffle House waitress by night. Or no, a Waffle House waitress by day, and by night she prowled the streets to protect people.
When she's a werewolf, she works at Waffle House.
Yeah, but only as a werewolf.
Oh no.
And not a single customer has complained.
Never. He's the security.
I like this trend of, like, Waffle House werewolves, too. Like, werewolves and Waffle House being aligned.
It really
I'm going to be a hipster and be like, I started it back in 2011.
Yeah, like, in a few years, it's just, like, on all of the, like YouTube stuff talking about the, like, writing scene and just like, yeah, you know, it's so trendy right now with the werewolf in Waffle House. That's a trope that needs to, no, we got to leave the werewolf.
I want to be the trope quantifier. Okay, I want to be on with the book that I unpublished.
Do you remember those books where it was like, it was a children's book series, and it was like each book was a different monster, but they were all like adults, like in, I want to say either the school or maybe just the town, where it was like, the history teacher is a vampire, but like it was usually some sort of alliteration. That's also what this is reminding me of.
Yeah,
like the werewolf the Waffle House waitress is a werewolf. It was usually, the title was like, the blank is a blank.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. I never read them though, and I don't know what they're called. They were like Goosebumps adjacent. Because I don't think it was Goosebumps, but it was like a similar vibe, if I recall.
I remember that I have work an hour early tomorrow, so I finished Critical Role, And then I started making my lunch for tomorrow. Very fair. No, anyone remember the vampire cook idea where the vampire stuff? Yes, I saw my notes.
I found
To
it.
be the cook at all. But I'll go add that to the notes. Let me go find it.
It's the series is called The Bailey School Kids, and then some of the titles that are vampire adjacent are Vampires Don't Wear Polka Dots because one of the teachers is a vampire, and then Dracula Doesn't Drink Lemonade because he seems to be the principal. He's at least sitting where you sit when you're in trouble and then need to go to the principal's office. But yeah.
Works.
Oh, they redid the covers, but they're not as nice.
Wow.
The old ones really had like a really good charm to them. Like that
Yeah.
illustrator was really like.
I vaguely
good at,
know
like-
what you're talking about. Now that you've said the Bailey School Kids, I just never read it.
I don't think I did either, but I remember liking the covers. The classic covers, at least. I don't know about this. Oh yeah, and it was all sorts of people because there was also Werewolves Don't Go to Summer Camp.
Debbie Datey, that's why I know it. Oh god.
You can buy a lot of them on Etsy for very cheap.
Why are all of the titles so limiting? What about the things vampires and werewolves can do?
Well, I guess that's what the book is about.
Yeah. Shame.
You got to establish what they can't do before you establish what they can do. Because yeah, they're all actually blank doesn't do blank.
Yeah. We need more positivity.
Potato chips.
I could see how a ghost couldn't eat potato chips.
Apparently they don't.
Yeah, I could see that. Crinkle in the
Hey,
bag and all that.
RP works at Waffle House has officially been added to the vampire of the story. To be fair, so the entire notes for this story are as reads: 4 roommates in a border house. Vampire, bad at vamping, immortaling, romancing, but is a good line cook. But is a line cook. Also bad at that. Unsure how still has job. Now works at Waffle House. The literal manic pixie, madly in love with Vamp, but Vamp can't tell. We have a hunter, best monster hunter ever, but pities the bad vamp for how bad they are at vamping. The human is allergic to everything. Additional characters, our antagonist of the story is a vampire real estate mogul, also almost taken out by Truck Coon. Human saves them, offers to bring them inside to rest. The vampire hunter is onto them.
I feel like I remember that part. Like I might have been there for that one.
The original house owner's a ghost. Revolutionary redcoat says tally ho whenever someone comes home. Dedicates their afterlife to helping vampire be a better vampire. Also, the ghost wrote romance in downtime / advice, which is super outdated. And it's supposed to be in first person referential, the hunter's POV with a sardonic narrative. We've got quite a few notes for this.
We're getting there. We're cooking.
How it will be written. Maybe some of the regulars or waiters or something are the pixie, a hunter, and a werewolf and stuff. I mean, maybe. For sure, the human goes there and is almost killed by the peanut butter waffles. That, the peanut butter chips, some Waffle Houses have, so that you can get, like, peanut butter waffles because they'll just put the chips in it.
Mm-hmm.
And since the human is allergic to everything, they're almost killed by this frequently when the vampire makes it for them.
I at my regular Waffle House got them to put I had them make some extra crispy bacon and then crumble that bacon into the waffle batter and I had a bacon waffle.
Ooh.
And it was so good. Highly recommend befriending your Waffle House staff so that they will do that for you.
Whenever you mention bacon, I think about how we microwaved bacon at the writing retreat every time.
And how adequate it was.
And how adequate it was.
How not as good as other methods, but still okay.
I love how there were so
also
many
we
people.
did that maybe not even 20 minutes into you being there.
I drop off my bed. Hey, how's it going, everyone? You have bacon I can microwave?
I mean, yeah, that's not far off.
Yeah.
I love how everyone was just like Matt, and they're trying to tell him the better way to make bacon, and he's just like, yeah, no, I know, but I'm lazy and don't want to wash dishes.
Yeah, I'm like, we got stuff to do. I'm not getting out a frying pan. Give me 4 paper towels and a microwave, and I'll have bacon that's good enough for a sandwich. That's the thing. We weren't having bacon and eggs. We were making club sandwiches. The bacon that's not a main character here. That's a tertiary character at best on the sandwich. It can go in the microwave.
Who are the other? Because for me, bacon is at least secondary character.
I would argue the bread is the secondary character. I would say the bread and the lettuce and tomato.
I was thinking about who you notice first.
Yeah. Because I feel like the bacon is the last thing you're like, wait a second, this is more delicious and saltier than it should be. Bacon, you're here.
Nah, for me, it's instantly we got chicken, we got bacon, this is a good time, other stuff is here too.
But see, I love lettuce and tomato with a lot of my heart. And therefore, I know a lot of people don't consider lettuce a superstar. I consider lettuce a superstar.
Yeah.
I love my crunchy water.
Mm-hmm. Love lettuce.
Although we have also established that you just like crunchy things.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I feel like I've talked about this on stream before, where I really want to eat a wine glass, and I'm sad that I can't.
Yeah. You have talked about how you like your drinks crunchy.
Mm-hmm. I love to chew a drink.
Bubble tea?
Yeah, bubble tea, pulpy orange juice.
Ooh, yeah.
I
do love a drink that is chunky for better.
Especially pulpy orange juice, you can filter the pulp through your teeth and pretend you're a whale.
Well, you know what? Kid Sam might have.
Well, try it again. It's no less fun.
I think I tried orange juice with pulp when I was too old. Because it's a thing of both me and my mom have an intolerance to citric acid. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have much orange juice in the first place. And also she hates pulp with a passion. So even when I did, it was just normal. And usually I ended up having orange juice that had other fruits added into it rather than just straight orange juice.
Yeah.
Like the tropical Tropicana.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Now I gotta buy it. I have juice in the fridge. I can't.
I just want pulpy orange.
I'm just trying to remember the type of whale that you're talking about. Because it's bothering me that I can't remember. Because it's the one with big... You said and pretend you're a whale, and so I'm trying to think of... There's a specific type of whale with those brush teeth.
I mean, baleen whale is that just general subsection of whale. But I don't...
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones.
But there is a type of whale that always... in all the artistic depictions, you can always see the baleen. And I can't think of what kind of whale that is.
There's a couple different ones.
Yeah, there's one... I'm going back to my childhood whale books.
To be fair, Fox, we have discussed...
a right whale?
A lot of other things than food, but I at least made dinner during a sprint. So
I think maybe a right whale, because they've got kind of an upper, their mouths are they are pouting all the time.
Yes,
there's a lot of smearing from them, and I think because of it, they don't fully close their mouths. I love a sea creature that has a mouth like that where it's very pouty. There's these fish. They're called arowana, Arowana, and their faces at the front are like a pug. They're like this, completely flat on the side. But that's also their mouth. It opens like that. And sometimes they have the two itty bitty whiskers at the very top of that mouth. But like they look at you and they do that thing fish do where like they can like sort of like tilt their eye towards you, and they just constantly look like at you. It's great. I love it. Every time I see them in person, I'm just so tickled.
I love
and they're also
fish.
just really beautiful fish. But yeah, I just love that they're so pretty, and then they have these stupidly pouty faces.
I'm seeing so many weird whale mouth pictures right now.
Sometimes stream leads you to Google and whale mouth.
Well, I googled whale with brush teeth.
While you're looking for whales, how do we feel? So okay, my sweatpants that I'm
a sperm whale
currently whaling, they have teeth.
Yeah, they're teeth whales.
The sweatpants I'm currently wearing have many a hole in them. And I want to know, how many holes do we feel like is too many holes for sweatpants to have before they maybe just get thrown away?
Do you have to pick me up from Canada so I can fix your sweatpants too?
No.
I can't do that.
No, they're just be whaled. Those can just be mailed.
But yeah, chat and other hosts, how many holes are too many holes to have in your sweatpants?
Okay, it depends on where the holes are and how big they are.
Sure, I will say they are all fairly small holes.
Okay.
There are 5 of them.
Okay.
Until I buy a new pair. I said until I buy a new pair.
Yeah, I have other pairs of sweatpants. And they
have been washed to the point they no longer function as my soft, comfy pants. And then
because like, if they're just like on the legs / the knees, then like, yeah. If they're in the crotch and you haven't fixed them, you know,
so,
or
I will say
them and can't bring them to someone to fix them, then it's like
the crotch is fine. I have 2 on the sort of calf region, 1 on the thigh, and 2 on the back pocket. The back pocket's kind of fallen apart. I feel like that's okay.
Bacon is bacon. There are a few ways to mess up the actual cooking of it. P.S. Sam, can this bacon debate? No, because it's not really a debate.
I just watched him do it in fascination. And then I ate it. It was
I'll throw a debate out there, and I think this is really just going to be me throwing a grenade into the world.
Oh, no.
I think bacon is perhaps the most overrated food on earth. I think bacon is good. It's good. And it's lowercase g good. End of story. It's a B tier pork product.
For me, I feel like it's an A tier pork product for me, but on the low side of the A tier. So a capital G good, if you will.
Sure.
But I do agree with you that it is overrated.
I think it's
and also overrated. I did have where I told a friend that I was live streaming today, and I have never mentioned it to him before, and he was instantly like, not a second thought. I hadn't even told him what the stream was about. I was like, I have a stream tonight, and he was like, on YouTube, and I was like, yes, and he was like, say something controversial. And because the 2 of us get up to no good, we had where we were walking around downtown to go from our school to his place because I needed to pick something up from his place, and we were talking just about the most explicit details of what we do in the bedroom.
Oh.
And I was explaining some anatomy, and as I was explaining such anatomy, I didn't see it, but he did, that we walked past a news reporter and a cameraman who thankfully were not live. But I didn't notice it, and so I kept talking, and I was being loud, too. And then I proceeded to, as I was talking, I knocked my headphones off, and I picked them up right in front of the newscast, like right directly behind him. I pick it up, and it's a thing of, he, like, my friend made a joke about, like, you're not going to forget that, and he was like, never. But then it was also a thing, too, of, like, I don't know how to explain this without giving too much detail away. But basically, I am now friends with someone who is the child of a very famous news reporter here. And this news reporter, I couldn't see what station he was from. And so I kept asking him, I was like, what station is, I can't see your thing. And then he proceeded to say another station, and I was like, shoot. I was going to ask him to say hi for me.
Yeah.
Alice said, for me, the meat is the main character, then mayo, then bread. Because I'm not a rabbit, so no tomato and lettuce unless it's done right, like small portions with large amount of bacon.
They are currently sleeping all like, Boo is like on top of Luna like this.
It depends on where they are.
I think I'm safe.
Alice, I have in fact sometimes wanted a BLT, and then I was like, but I don't feel like making the bacon, so I just have lettuce, tomato.
Dude, cucumber sandwich?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go, dude.
I feel like that depends on where the holes are. As long as you can't see the gems, I think they're
Here's how I think with these sweatpants, I think they are retired from the public. I think they are fine for around the house. That's how that's where I think we're at.
If people can see your underwear, I'd say it's time. No, I disagree, because that means my underwear is covering.
That's a good point.
As long as everything is covered.
Yeah, I mean, fabric is fabric, right?
No fucks.
Like, oh, you saw through one layer of fabric and saw another layer of fabric. Exactly. Everything's just working.
Jeans that have a hole at the bottom of my ass cheek, but the hole's like only yay big, and I'm like, whatever, my panties cover it. I don't care.
That is the point of the underwear.
For the stream gonna be that if your pants have unrepairable like holes in your crotch that you're not repaired, that you shouldn't wear them.
This depends on like, I feel the crotch area is a little different, because like that all depends, especially with a lot of like men's underwear may also have that built-in like hole.
Right.
So that
gets a little that's a little dangerous.
Like holes, not like cold holes. But
but like honestly, a lot of men's boxers go to their mid-thigh to their knee. So like if you have a hole halfway up your thigh, you're gonna see their underwear.
I said the crotch specifically.
Well, yeah, you said crotch, but RP didn't. So that's
crotch
why
is probably a no-go.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say anything earlier when you said crotch, because I agreed with this point. I mean, that's a good point, but also no one wants to see other people's underwear. I mean, I feel like that is an unfair blanket statement. If not because, like, here's the thing: no, I do not actively want to see other people's underwear, but also if I do, I don't care.
Here's my thing.
How horrendously ugly is your underwear that it's gonna repulse me?
I have like it's clean underwear. Like, what are we worried about?
Underwear. That's my business.
No from Fox.
Well, and here's like, no, I don't particularly want to see a stranger's underwear. I don't particularly want to see a stranger. So really.
Matt's like, I just don't want to see the whole human.
So we're already not ideal.
But I will also say, as my mother and my grandmother have always taught me, there is a time and a place. So, like, my opinion would also greatly differ depending on where we're going. Yeah. If we're going to a school event for the kids, I'm not going to wear anything with holes above the knees.
But if you're going to Waffle House,
then I don't care.
You might not even need the pants.
I promise you they don't care either. So, but yeah, so it's also like there's a time and a place for things.
Absolutely.
Fox says, how can Matt consistently have A+ and F- takes and no in between?
The answer to that question is there's nothing on earth I don't have an opinion about. And I will die for any and all causes.
I will also say, as a parent, I'm raising my kids to understand there's also things called modesty layers. And that, like, in general, most people consider your underwear to be a private layer, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, my opinion on my own clothing is not something that I try to force on other people or my children. Because, like, I know a lot of people are not comfortable with other people seeing their underwear. And that's perfectly fine. So I teach my children there's a private layer, and then there's a modesty layer, and then there's your outer layers, right? And so, for example, we buy these modesty shorts for my daughter for when she wants to wear like skirts and dresses and stuff. And that's what I tell her they are. I tell her they're modesty shorts. And then when she asked me why we get them for, I'm like, because you are a very active child and you're also a very private child. And so, like, you can climb trees with your modesty shorts and your dress. And she was like, oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, it's just like those things. But we recently also bought the boys undershirts. So, which my husband explained to them what they were because, like, I wear 80 layers. So when I try to explain certain layers to the children, they're just like, Mom, you wear 80 layers. And I'm like,
you have one shirt and 79 undershirts.
I'm like, this is a fair thing. But yeah. So it is also like perspective time and stuff. Oh my gosh, this reminds me of a meme. I say, take a looketh at my fields of fucks, you seeth that it is barren. I need that. I need that framed. And I can't help it, Fox. I really, really love jeans and my jeans, and I wear them out so consistently everywhere. And I gave up caring because of my love of jeans. Which my youngest has now started, because, like, she had jeans for a while, but then she outgrew them, and she still tried to wear them when they were too small, and so she decided that jeans were uncomfortable and that they hurt. And I'm like, I mean, yes, if you wear them 2 sizes too small, this is true. But one of my aunt's coworkers just gave us 4 giant bags of girls' clothes. And, like, I swear half, if not a whole bag, was just jeans. And she started going through some of them. And, like, a lot of them are really nice and they're soft. And some of them still have the price tags on them. So I'm like, which when I see some of them were, like, bought on clearance and stuff, I'm like, yeah, save that money.
I recently had to buy all brand new jeans because my old jeans, people kept asking me, they're like, wait, are you wearing skinny jeans? And I'm like, they didn't used to be. That wasn't the intention when I purchased them. But now I have jeans that fit.
I guess my most controversial take this stream is that I don't like wearing jeans, so I don't. I wear a lot of trousers.
Raise your not like wearing jeans and say...
Hold on, this isn't a betting war. Go ahead, what you were saying.
No, raise your bet. For the
I'm going to one-up that. Sleeping in jeans isn't that crazy. Now, when I say sleeping, I mean napping. If you are like, it's time for bed, and like brush your teeth, do your nightly routine, and you're still in jeans, yeah, that's a little wild. But getting home and taking a nap in your jeans, everyone always says jeans are so uncomfortable. No, they're not.
That I say you're not wearing the right size.
Thank you. Your jeans don't fit. That's the problem.
It's like a bra. If you're not wearing the right size, of course it's going to be
uncomfortable. But jeans are comfortable. That's kind of like their thing. They're pants to work in. They're supposed to be comfortable. But no, my brother is the same way. He's so anti-jeans.
Brand, because some brand of jeans should just be avoided unless you're doing like heavy ranch work. And then they're really great for heavy ranch work, but I am not a rancher, and therefore I don't need my jeans to be that durable.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'm pro lettuce and pro jeans. I stay just liking things that are a little crunchy.
I'm trying to think. I'm like,
including
I gotta have a controversial take for my friend. I gotta send him a clip, and now I'm trying to think of something.
And any food controversy? I know that's always popular.
I mean, I just had the thought opinions. Because me and him were talking about such spicy things. I'm like, do I have a controversial spicy take about things that go on in
where
the
kink shaming isn't allowed? I don't know if you can.
Well, no, not in the way of, you know, like shaming anyone else, but being like, my personal preference is this. like,
This has been such an innocent, wholesome food stream. We never have innocent, wholesome streams. And now Tina's about to step on it.
We're just like, what a fun way to have bacon. And Tina's like, no. We gotta...
No, we gotta spice it up. Well, now I can't, because guys kept mentioning food. Now I can't think of the fact that my mom once told me that she thought ketchup is spicy.
Ketchup was spicy?
Ketchup was spicy. Specifically spicy, not any other words. Not tangy, not sour, spicy.
Well, I have not grown lettuce. I'm fairly new to the gardening scene. I've really just done herbs so far, but down the road, I could see myself growing lettuce.
A tiptoeing the line between spicy and innocent is, so me and my friends played an MMO called Wakfu way back in the day. I still play it sometimes, and I'm trying to get the kids into it. The thing is, Wakfu, it's a French game, and so it's got a lot of fun references and stuff. So, and they love their wordplay. For example, the Craws, C-R-A, are the archers, which crawl backward is arc, because arrows come down in an arc, right? The treasure hunters are the Inutrophs, which Inutroph backwards is fortune. They're the fortune hunters. Their monster tamer class is Osamoda, which is backwards is a reference to sadomasochism.
Oh!
They have a lot of whip attacks. And that's my main class. That's my main character. Because not only are they the monster tamers, they also have a route you can go instead where you become a dragon transformation, if you will. So I like doing that one. And one of my friends, and the person who plays it with me the most, he plays a Sacrir, which they are sacrificers. So basically, like, every time he gets hit and his HP goes down, his strength goes up, right? So, like, some of his attacks even include, like, sacrificing HP for power. So when we made our guild, we called it Chained by Pain, because he and I were the ones that made the guild, and he liked taking pain, and my character was very big into dishing.
Yeah.
Especially since I had a lot of AoE attacks, and so he'd be in the middle of all the monsters, and friendly fire is a thing. So I just release a crackler punch. He and everything around him gets hurt. So our guild, you could make people, make up levels for the roles, so people could earn rights and different access. And we had all of ours BDSM themed.
Yeah.
So we did that. Well, the years go by, everybody stops playing and stuff. Me and Ray start playing again recently, and then the kids also want to start playing. So we had to revamp the guild.
You're like, okay, let me clean all this up.
We had to revamp the guild because I didn't want to explain to my children. I'm like, okay, so you got to level 3 in the guild. Do you want to be known as a Sado or a Maso? So, yeah, that was a fun. But we kept the name Chained by Pain because it's like that can.
Sure.
It's a party that does raids and dungeons again and stuff. But when we played over the weekend, 2 of my kids were like, yeah, we're pain chained. I was like, oh, so innocent and sweet.
You're just like, yeah.
Yeah, we're pain chained. And they got to play with Ray too, which they one of them was playing a craw, and he's got some sort of homing thing where he puts down something, and if one of the enemies steps on it or something, then at the beginning of his turn he just shoots arrows at them. Well, Ray kept stepping on it. and they kept going. They're like, Ray, you're on my beacon, or you're on my trap again. And Ray's like, it's fine, it'll make me stronger. But it was very cute. So
it's amazing.
loss for takes. I'm sad about it.
Well, you have a sprint to think of, and if you think of a take, I recommend writing it down so you remember it.
Yeah, that's not the problem. The problem is I can't think of any.
Well, having a non-food related hot take on this channel is
It's gonna be difficult.
I'll find one. Let me.
This is a challenge now. All right. So, Matt, I just have to say, your little like the icon in the bottom corner. I have to don't move so that I can take a snapshot of it, because it looks like an album cover.
Aha! Yeah, it does. You really do look like an album cover right now.
No, it froze.
No, I didn't freeze. You just told me not to move.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, I think that was what it was.
My screenshot program froze.
Oh.
Yes.
Because I'm keeping very still.
No, if you froze, that would still have been fine. There you go.
Oh yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And we're back. How did everybody do?
There we go.
Let's find out. It's always just as shocking to me how well I did, because I don't know.
I started going through and CB went through the duos for some of the photos, but she like wrote the numbers down on sticky notes. So I'm trying to like match up the numbers. But I'm getting to the point where I have to like drag and drop it up so then it moves my things, and I'm like, no, I don't know where I am anymore.
I did 138 words.
Nice.
There's a very minor character in this scene, and I had to go back and find where I described them previously because I didn't super remember what they looked like.
That happens to me.
Yep. I'm like, yes, you are in 2 scenes. But unfortunately, this is the second one, so I have to go and find the first.
I found where I was.
I organized the last of stuff from my closet because I found a bag of clothes in the hallway. I just have like a bunch of stuff in the hallway that needs to be like unpacked and organized. And so I did a little bit of that and made it more of a it's starting to like, really get like tight, when you walked past.
Having to shuffle through the hallway.
And my poor roommates need to do laundry, so like I made it like very clear where the laundry, which it was already fine, but hello boo. I made it more clear and also more clear for me.
Were you able to come up with any controversy?
Oh yes, I did make
fantastic.
this for myself. So I have 2, and they're specifically writing. Well, one is writing specific, and then one is like a trope thing. And my first one, the more writing one, is that I love second person POV.
Oh.
And I'm tired of people saying that it's not good. I love it. I love it so much.
To be fair, I've never said it's terrible. I've said I hate it personally because I hate being told what I feel.
I verbatim feel the same way.
But then I took that back after I read Lemony Snicket, A Series of Unfortunate Events, because I was like, you know what? He talked to me respectfully. So now I stand on its execution.
I just love that me and Sam are both just like, we don't like it because we don't like being told what to do.
Which is funny because I famously don't like being told what to do, but for some reason, I think like when it's
being told what to
when
feel.
it's in a book, I'm like, it's a hypothetical me. And I'm fine with that. Like,
no,
yeah.
They're not saying you, hypothetical Sam. They're saying which you under. And I'm like, don't you even? You don't know my.
I would never do that.
How dare you?
Yeah, I don't think
Especially
I've ever
when they say
like
things that are so horrendously not how I feel or anything. I'm like, how dare you make these gross misassumptions about me?
I see.
So.
I think it's also a thing too of like there's 2 specific stories, I know one of which Sam has read, where they use second person because they're actually referring not to you, the reader, but to another character, because the story is being told to another character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in instances really like that, I know they're not talking to me, so it's fine.
Yeah, and see, I think I just take them all like that, where it's like, yeah, no, it's not literally me, it's a hypothetical me you're talking to.
Right.
It's because I was taught that second person is them speaking to you, the reader, and so I'm like, how dare you? Well, to the point where, like, if they're not talking to me, the reader, then that's not the norm. So that's why I don't take that as the default.
That's why I love it. Well, part of the reason why I love it is because it's such, like, when people use it, they use it so innovatively, but I want more. I also just, like, I grew up on, like, Lemony Snicket and choose your own adventure stories.
I do like a choose your own adventure story.
Lemony Snicket
love a
told me
choose
this
your own
is a
adventure
sad
story.
story, and if you want happy endings, don't come here. So I left. I believed him. I was like, oh, I see.
Oh,
Thanks
no.
for the warning, buddy.
Mr. Snicket, thank you very much. I'm out of here.
Hope you have a good day.
I had where, one of my teachers, like right around the time it came out, like read them out loud to us, and I was hooked.
Matt's hair is giving Green Day vibes.
I don't know if that's accurate or not, but thank you.
I feel like it's accurate in my soul, but I don't know, like, actually. Like, I haven't seen pictures of them in ages, so I don't know.
I don't know what they look like.
My sister used to have a band poster of them printed out, and she would kiss her favorite member every night because it was right above her bed. This was when she was like 8. But...
Sure.
Hello, Luna.
Outing her on stream.
But yeah, no. And then my second take, which is more, it's a take I feel neutral about, but that neutrality might be controversial. What?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing directly behind me? Okay.
Being bold in your neutrality.
Yes.
Yeah, my neutrality might be controversial, and it's that I am really unaffected of the thing of, like, the love interest being, like, thousands of years old, and then, like, the main character being a teenager. Like, it never really, like, I understand logistically, like, logically why people are like, I don't like it, and I'm like, that's totally fair, and, like, of course, in real life,
sure.
Yeah, but, like, when I'm reading something, like, it'll, that has, I'm like,
it depends on who the target demographic is for me. It depends on who the target demo is for me. If I'm reading an adult series or an adult novel, and that's the thing, whatever, adults make their own decisions. But if it is a YA series targeting teenagers, I am not okay with that. Because you're teaching teenagers, like, the norm, and that's not the norm. And, like, there are lots of psychological studies done and stuff that are the media we take in, especially during our developmental years, it gets internalized.
Yeah.
And, like, I knew so many girls who thought that, like, it would be better to date, like in high school, they thought it would be better to date, like, an older college guy or a guy in his 30s because of a lot of YAs that had that age gap.
Yeah.
Because, they're so much more mature and everything. And it did not turn out well for most of them. So that's why I have an issue with it. If other people don't have an issue with it, that's them. But like I said, for me, it all depends on who the target demo is.
See, for me, it's a thing of, I grew up reading Twilight and, like, a bunch of, manga and stuff that had, like, that as a theme, and it never crossed my mind to, have in real life, and it never really was something that, like, I've just always felt neutral about it. And, like, I didn't have that experience of, like, my friends, like, picking it up. It was really, like, it was never something that, like, was, like, it was
really kind of interesting with me because my mom was really into Twilight when it came out, and she would read it to my little sisters. And, like, one day we're in the car, and she's like, she didn't see a big deal with it, and, like, we're talking about some of Bella's actions, and I'm like, okay, Mom, so if a boy broke up with me and I jumped off a cliff, she's like, I would tan your ass. And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, so then you don't think that this is okay behavior? And she's like, no. It's like, you're my daughter. This is a fictional character. And I'm like, yeah, but a lot of teen girls are heavily influenced by this. So, yeah, that's just one of those things.
My initial thought on the trope, because I honestly don't encounter it that much. Like, I know Twilight is, like, the huge example of it, but outside of that, like, I personally just don't encounter that trope a lot. But when I have, I'm always just, like, my mind immediately just goes to judging the entity and just being like,
I know.
I'm just kind of like, wow, dork ass loser. Like,
you want to see a series that does it so fucking well for why this is not, like, okay?
Yeah.
Vampire Diaries. The man who plays Stefan plays, I am an old ass vampire dating a teenage girl, and I am so aware of how teenage and young she is. He like watches her sometimes being a normal teenage girl, and like the looks on his face and the way he's acting is just, oh well, you're young, you're just a kid. And I'm like, sir, this is not helping you. Also, though, they're trying to convince me he's supposed to be in a 17-year-old body, and I'm like, this man looks 30. You're not. I'm not being convinced of anything.
It's so crazy to me how, which I get that it's like labor laws and stuff, but the amount of just like, yeah, he's 15 and it's very clearly a man with a mortgage, and it's just like a man
with a mortgage.
It's like, no, he is not.
But I will say he did an amazing job playing the role he was given. You're just not convincing me. And everyone else is like, oh, he looks so young. He's just a teenager. And I'm like, y'all need new eyes.
Yeah, like, does he though?
Like, I have a very heavy prescription, and y'all need a stronger one than me. But yeah, that's my main issue, is just because of the real world repercussions that it has upon people.
Yeah. From a purely like fictional standpoint, like taking that aspect out of it, I mainly am just, it just makes me think less of the character.
From a purely like fictional and reader standpoint, I will read a lot of things.
Yeah, like it's not like, yeah, I don't consider it like a deal breaker trope or anything.
There's almost no line I will not read across. And
I just kind of go, nerd,
have
and move on.
Out moment. But for things I recommend to others, and when I talk about, also it comes from a place of like, I love young adult paranormal fantasy. Like, I grew up reading it, but it became a very, very different beast in the 2010s, and I am fighting to get it back to what it used to be. Because oh my god, it's so different now. And like, it used to be when you picked up a YA book, you were like almost guaranteed to have drugs. And now it's like, oh, they're gonna have sex. And I'm like, bring back the drugs.
Get the cocaine back in here. We gotta
bring back the hard grime every day. These are teen struggles of peer pressure and drugs. And okay, yeah, some people are having sex, but that's like off page. And like, you know, maybe somebody misappeared. Like the hard drama of teen existence. Not just, are they gonna fuck a fairy king? I want very different things out of my YA paranormal romance than the recent decades have presented to me. Like The Outsiders from C.E. Hinton. Not paranormal, but it's so good.
Classic.
That's like another thing, is when a lot of people will like defend, like, you know, they're like, oh, well, we shouldn't sanitize YA. And it's like, we're not talking about sanitizing it. We don't even want to censor it. We would just not like it to be erotica light. Could we like have different things? So that's my thing. And like, Chris and I talk about it on and off a lot of times, especially with, because when you watch something, I have almost never seen media that wasn't based on a book that has a teenager romancing a 100,000-year-old character. Like, it's almost always in written fiction. And I think that's in part because when people read it on the page, it's really easy to ignore or to push away the character ages.
Yeah.
I just forget about characters' ages. Maybe that's what it is.
Like, I have, like, Chris, I believe it is. He read, I think, is it Six of Crows? I think it's Six of Crows, and he really enjoys Six of Crows, but he can't get past the ages.
Mhm.
He's like, you're not telling me this guy's 17. He acts 30.
Yeah.
And my guess is because of the era of when these books came out, and because of some of Leah Bardago's comments in recent interviews and stuff, is she did not choose for them to be teenagers. They were aged down by the publishing company for marketing, which happened to a shit ton of them. And so, but I have another friend who absolutely like loves Six of Crows, and every time like we bring it up, they're like, I always forget they're teenagers. And so I'm like, I believe people are in one of two camps. They either just cannot for the life of them forget, or they just never remember.
Yeah. And I just kind of thought of this regarding Twilight, which maybe it isn't. I've never actually read the books, and I've only seen the pieces. But he has like he got turned into a vampire when he was a teenager, correct?
18.
8. And so like the whole like his mind is obviously like 100 years old, and so it's creepy for him to date a teenager. But also, it would be reverse creepy for him to date an adult woman because he looks like a teenager.
Yeah, they're damn.
Like
he's
right.
Either way.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Like, he's kind of
a
screwed.
Vampire who she was turned when she was a child,
Mm-hmm.
and she deals with some of those, like with that discussion.
Yeah.
And there's also I read a book. Oh, I wish I remembered what it was, but I read a book where there was a vampire who he was trapped in the body of a child, but he had the mind of a full-grown man. And he's like, do you know what kind of hell this is?
Yeah, because it's like...
And so I want, like, those are such good things to play around with.
Yeah, it's like, obviously, like, a lot of people, and understandably, are like, it's weird that Edward's dating a teenager. I'm like, but Edward has no options here, other than to date, like, specifically, like... Yeah, no, nothing works for him. Because if he is dating a 30-year-old, that's presumably a weird 30-year-old.
My thing is
dating a teenager.
I wonder.
Been to high school like 30 times over now, and I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
I wonder too, because, you know, he and Bella, you know, happy ever after in the end. I wonder at what point is she old enough for their age gap to not be weird? Like,
yeah.
as a vampire.
Yeah, as far as vampires are concerned.
Like 30.
It's like, do we have to wait until, like, she's, like, 300 years old, and then he's, like, 1,300, you know?
No,
like,
see, it's not...
When does it become normal?
The weird thing isn't how many years there are. Because, like, once you get past, like, 50, it's inconsequential how many years there are. It's about how developed they are mentally. And I think after one becomes an adult in your mind is the mind of an adult, it no longer matters. It's just before then. You know, if also the mind of the vampire, because if the vampire is looking at them like, oh, you're such a cute kid. No.
Garlic.
That's weird. But yeah, so that's the thing. I watch and read a lot of things where there is a human partner and a supernatural partner, and their age gaps are very rarely below 300 something. So it's weird when they're literal teenagers and they act like teenagers, and the older supernatural one is treating them like a teenager / a child.
Yeah,
I'm like,
when I was your age 100 years ago.
Like, how is this any different than a 30-year-old going to the high schools and dating people? I'm like, no, they don't get a pass just because they're centuries old. Yeah. So
poor Edward though has no right answer for his romantic.
He doesn't. I also think in Stephenie Meyer's, which I could be wrong, but I think their brain does stop developing.
Oh.
In which case it's fine.
God,
I don't know that for
that's
sure.
an entirely different hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Like,
to
why would you
develop, to never have your mind change?
But I've been watching.
Maybe that's why he repeats high school so much.
Excuse me. I've been thinking of reading the Twilight series because, one, I can only ever speak from the movies because I've only seen the movies. So 9 times out of 10, if I'm talking about Twilight, it's the movies. But I kind of want to reread them because of how absolutely ridiculous I have heard certain things are in them.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the things that most people talk about, right? I'm not talking about the imprinting. I'm not talking about the age gap or anything like that. Recently this woman has popped up on my For You page who she is like a Twilight.
I think I know who you're talking about.
She's a Twihard and she fucking loves Twilight. And she's been talking about like how she's like, in order for the vampires to be sparkly, in the books, their skin is described as marble hard. And I'm like,
they're
wait,
really rock hard.
What? And so when it talks about and I love what she's talking about, and she's like, yeah, so Edward's hearing his siblings and his family, and she's got like 2 porcelain bowls, and she's like, and she's hearing this.
Why did you make that choice?
And also, they've never kissed open mouthed because the vampire venom is what turns people. So they always kiss closed mouth, which I'm like, that's kind of cute in a weird way. But then she like reads some of the kissing scenes where like Bella is describing kissing Edward, and it's kissing his like the smooth hard marble of his lips, and I'm like, hold on,
Bella, what are you doing?
They have to read this series because she's not dating a vampire. We were all wrong. She's dating a gargoyle.
Like, that's so crazy and unavoidable, and incredibly avoidable.
So I might actually binge the series just because I want to see how wild this shit gets.
I almost want to read it now. Because I've also heard that just the prose in general is just kind of wild.
See, my thing, and I have stood by this the whole time from the excerpts that I had heard previously, and really, these excerpts just make me believe it more. I think if she had written Twilight as a horror instead of a paranormal romance, even if she decided to go horror romance, it would have been so much better because she's a pretty good horror writer. So,
yeah.
And like, I liked the first Twilight movie when I first saw it. I was really pulled into her take on vampires. I was like, yeah, she's right. And I'm like, motherfucking monsters. They're threatening. And then other things happened. Everybody else I knew, they were all like, but they sparkle. And I'm like I give a shit. I mean, that is kind of bad because they're predators, but it's fine. I'm like, from an evolutionary standpoint,
why would you
doesn't make as much sense?
Hard rock skin.
I know.
It's such a choice. I get if you want to be like, oh, they're corpses,
like,
so they're kind of stiff.
In the movie, she's like, you know, she's like, he's cold as stone, and I'm like, okay, yeah, like a corpse. I didn't think she meant stone.
Okay, also, bullshit. You have gotten away with being a vampire for more than, I don't know, 4 hours when you accidentally touch your locker and it goes boom. Like, oh no, I think maybe you got found out, Edward. I think they found you.
I have another person who is a very big Twilight. I don't know why I have so many Twilight fans that YouTube recommends
There's
me.
Really been a renaissance.
You know what? I like them. I like their content too. They're great. But she'll do like Twilight the book versus Twilight the movie, or like what was going on in Edward's head during this scene versus what's going on in Bella's head during this scene. Those are so amazing. There's like I forget which. Oh, I think it's the scene where Bella like goes to the hospital, and from Bella's perspective, she's sitting there like trying to figure out something, and then at some point she looks at the doctor and she's all like, oh wait, is he in on it? And like the entire time Carlisle and Edward are having like a pseudo conversation because Edward's reading Carlisle's mind. And I'm like,
oh yeah, they can read minds.
No,
Edward can't.
Edward can.
Yeah,
that's why he's that's part of why he's attracted to Bella, is because he can't read her mind. To which I say, if that's not for the I can't read your mind, so it's so peaceful near you, is a red flag. because if that's not the reason, why does you not being able to know what my every thought is bother you? But
I don't remember it being. I think it was the first option.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't remember for sure. But
yeah, I have vague memories from the books of that being the reason, but I'm not 100% about it. Because also, it's been a very long time since I read the books. But
I also half defend Edward sneaking into her room to watch her sleep, as it would be romantic if they were together at the time, but it's not, because at the time he's just randomly stalking her while she's investigating him.
I'm like, if they're in bed together and like one wakes up before the other, or like then I'm fine with it. But the going into the room,
opening a window,
to watch someone sleep, regardless of whether they're together, I'm like, I don't know. But even if he has bad vibes.
Breaks in and he's looming in a corner.
Yeah, if you can be described as looming, you're probably in the wrong.
Don't be like intentionally trying to watch your partner sleep is my thing. I'm like, if it happens by accident, that's fine. I've definitely done where like I'm like, with someone, like wake up before them and like look at how cute they are when they sleep,
like,
and then I go about my day or go back to sleep.
Like, if you are in a relationship, y'all are gonna do creepy shit that's sweet because you're together, right? The parents are the same way. If I watch my children sleep, it's a mom appreciating her kid's sleep. I watch a random child sleep and they're like, motherfucker, she's weird. So this is one of those things. But they were not together. In fact, Edward was trying to actively avoid her during the school day, and then at night she wakes up and motherfucker's looming over in a corner. Well, like, he's not like physically over her, but it's his presence feels over her because he's looming in a corner. He broke into her house. She wakes up, catches him, and then he gone. So like, that's just weird. I'd salt my fucking windows. Like, nah, you ain't coming in. Although he wasn't invited in.
Do they have that rule?
I don't think they do.
No, every morning at school, he's just like, can someone invite me in?
No, public places don't count. Only private homes.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny, though. A vampire who can't be in any space unless they're invited.
I have been in so many like chat rooms and stuff where the conversation comes up. What if you're renting an apartment?
Oh yeah.
Like what are the rules there? I think it's old world hospitality rules. So since like my answer is always, since you're renting and occupying the space, you are technically the master of the home, and therefore you have to invite them in. Your landlord doesn't count in this instance of supernatural rules.
Vampire landlord is fun.
A vampire landlord would be one great way to have consistent meals.
Yeah. I was going to say, because he doesn't have to be invited in, because he owns, like, if you interpret it that way.
You could, like, put it in small print in the renter's agreement. Can stop by for surprise inspections.
Yeah, and the inspection is to drink their blood.
Yeah, we just don't, we don't add the blood drinking part. And, as long as they don't catch you, they can't sue you for that part.
Okay, yeah, this is going in the ideas folder. Landlord vampire. I mean, it writes itself.
2030, we're releasing live stream vampire anthology.
I mean, the social commentary. Mwah.
But all right, we're at 30 minutes past. Because vampires.
Long vampire talk.
Let's talk vampires, specifically Edward and landlord.
I realized I don't have a screen yet for my. You weren't supposed to show this part.
Oh.
Oh.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye.